Tradies are fleeing the cities. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I thought we'd have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance discussing why Aussie tradies are fleeing the city in droves. Now, I remember when I was a student of architecture many years ago, the Queensland chapter of the Royal Australian Institute of Architects at the time was rolling out a campaign to get students and graduates to do their year of experience or even postgraduate experience in the regions to work in remoter parts of Queensland because everyone stays in the southeast. I worked for the Architectural Practice Academy at a time when I graduated, and part of the mandate was to provide architectural services to the regions. And that's when I think the furthest inland I managed to get on a site visit was to Longreach. There was a little bar there, actually, it's a tiny job. We were just putting a ramp and doing an extension on a little house. But there was a nice bar there, good American beer, good steak. It was great. I went up there with my engineer and we had a good time. But, that was a big push because I know people that when they graduated, they went and worked remote for a time, as some of them have. Well, now that I think about it, all of them I know have come back, but I've got other colleagues and friends that left southeast Queensland, where many of them did their studies, and moved remote. One mate, he and his wife, they went up to North Queensland, not too far north, around near Harvey Bay, and they settled there, and they could get much more value for their money, much better quality of life. So, I had another friend move to Bundy, working near Monrepo there, and could get a beautiful house there, much more affordable than in other parts of the state. So that's why, we've got the constant bitching and moaning about housing affordability, but sometimes you need to look further afield and look at other opportunities. I mean, my father immigrated to Australia from East Germany. That was a big move, and it was for a lot of reasons, too. You don't want to live under communism. So, although, judging by how people are voting in Victoria, you'd think otherwise. Anyway, let's keep going. Why Aussie tradies are fleeing the city in droves. Though 90% of us live in the city, tradies want out. Electrician Josh McCrone explains why. Australia is one of the most urbanised societies in the world, with an estimated 90% of our 25 million strong population living in a major city. But for New South Wales tradie Josh McCrone, there's no place like the bush. Mr. McCrone, 36, has both lived and worked in packed, bustling cities around the world. Among them Manchester, which boasts the largest metropolitan area in the north of England, and Canberra, Australia's capital, home to almost 400,000 people. The Temora-based dad of three, who has a fourth on the way. Congratulations, cheers. We got to cheers that. It's good to see people having families. He's among a rapidly growing number of Australian tradespeople who either already have or are contemplating moving rurally to escape the stress, hefty cost, and space confinements attached to city life. So, for him, a former NRL rugby league player, there's a raft of reasons behind his decision to relocate his family from the chaotic Brisbane city to tiny Temora. But above all, it comes down to the freedom. Mr. McCrone, an electrician, says he made the move from the UK back to Australia during the height of the pandemic, and after living through lockdown after lockdown, he'd had enough. We were looking to move to a rural community where there's bigger blocks and more freedom, he told Yahoo News. It was also about the lifestyle change. There's go-karts here, motorbikes, lots of space. We weren't pent up in a house. It's just such a relaxed vibe. Definitely communities, not a drama. Commutes. Commuting's not a drama. It's a 2-minute drive to work, 5 minutes to the supermarket. The dad said he's lucky enough to have been born in Temora, and after spending years in major cities, he knows that the town, which has fewer than 7,000 residents according to the latest census, is where he will grow old. His decision to move regionally, ditching the hustle and bustle of city life, comes as a recent study revealed a whopping 88% of Australian tradies said they were on the hunt for a more relaxed lifestyle and better work-life balance. A total of 92% of respondents in the study also admitted They could be persuaded to make the move themselves. The data conducted by the Regional Australia Institute in partnership with industry bodies, businesses and governments suggests that 23% of people surveyed would definitely make the move to the regions, citing cost of living pressures in urban areas as a major factor, shorter commute times, a stronger sense of community and the opportunity to own their own business. With an estimated 15,000 jobs available in the building and construction sectors alone, according to RAI, Mr. Macron implored other tradies to make a similar move. So he sees a big improvement in mental health. That's not surprising. Not surprising at all. In particular, the electrician said his mental health had vastly improved since relocating, a major factor driving tradies to consider the move themselves. Worryingly, almost half of respondents, 44%, reported struggles with their mental health, a third citing job insecurity, with the view the pipeline of work is drying up. Now, that depends on who you talk to. That depends on who you talk to. But that's always a challenge in business. I think the fact that you've got more time in your day, you're not worried about commuting, getting from one job to another, it just gives you more time to spend with your family and gives you more time to do the things you enjoy, he said. The relaxed country lifestyle is a big draw card, and the facilities out here are fantastic too. They're 50 minutes from Wagga, and you've everything you need there. Shops, and there's a good pub. Yeah, you can go pretty far and still have pretty good facilities in Australia, to be quite honest. You know, country, rural country, and they're still getting like 4G internet, 5G. I could work there. Asked what's in store for the future, he said he was looking forward to welcoming his fourth child in November and building his very own home on an acreage, no less. So there we have it, guys. So let's have a bit of a chat about this one. So here's the question I'd put to you. Would you do it? Would you do the green change? Now, a lot of people did. Remember, a lot of people made this move out of the cities to the green change, and now they're moving back. So it's a bit of a catch. Yeah, sometimes it can work, sometimes it can't. I remember we were driving through one little town in inland Queensland recently, visiting relatives who live on a farm, and we stopped at this town, and there was like a empty, like a shop front there, a fish and chip shop that had all this writing on there, complaining how they wanted to start this shop, and everyone in the community rallied against them because they were taking business away from the pub, and there's this whole shit fight, and then they finally shut down the business, and they were still living there. So, yeah, it could be some issues in some of these remote communities. This guy, he grew up there. So, yeah, there you go. There's another thing. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I know one viewer of the channel, he went from Tassie to Japan, and he has a YouTube channel. What is it? Living in Japan? I've got to find it. I'll link to it. I'll pin it down below, guys. Check it out. Where he just talks about his business he's running. He's got a little farm, little veggie farm type of thing in Japan, a big one, and a cafe, and he does demo work. So he's given a bit of an Aussie insight into a green change to Japan. So, I mean, there you go. There's another option. He bought one of these old houses to reno and do up, and oh shit, it looks like a lot of work. Some of these more modern ones he's demoing, they look perfectly fine, but they're not as popular with the young people apparently. So hey, I mean, what would you rather, country Australia or country Japan? Let me know in the comments, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that sort of YouTubey stuff. If you're a fan of the channel and want to check out my other stuff, check out Heise a bit more Heise does. You can support us on YouTube or Patreon, referral links, pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.